Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome to today's exclusive interview featuring two extraordinary individuals, Matt Devine and Lyle Best. We're here to discuss an awe-inspiring initiative, the QuikCard Ride for Change powered by Gruppo. And this aims to promote individual health and well-being while fueling positive, sustainable change in the world. Now, the QuikCard Ride for Change is an extremely ambitious cycling journey that's going to span 13,000 plus kilometers across 9 provinces and 2 territories in Canada. Now, these riders are going to cycle on an average from 150 to 180 kilometers daily for 109 days. This is going to start on May 20th in Halifax, and it's finishing on August 27th in Edmonton. The ride will take Matt and the support riders through the immense diversity of Canada's landscape. Now, this incredible event is dedicated to raising funds and awareness for You Can Ride Too, an organization that helps children with disabilities experience the joy of cycling. Now, our first guest, Matt Devine, is an inspiring advocate for personal transformation and community involvement. And you may remember him from previous episodes of the podcast as well. Now, Matt in 2022 successfully ran from Jasper to Canmore, Alberta, completing the equivalent of 7 marathons in 7 days and raising close to $60,000 for local children's charities. Now Matt is set to embark on an even more challenging journey as he's cycling across Canada alongside his support riders to bring awareness, volunteers, and funds to the You Can Ride Too charity. But joining Matt is the accomplished entrepreneur and philanthropist Lyle Best. As the chairman of the QuikCard group of companies, Lyle has more than 40 years of experience in the employee benefits industry and over 30 years in IT development. He's a passionate supporter of sports and community events, and Lyle has served in various leadership roles, including the former executive director of the Edmonton Oilers Alumni Association, co-chair of the 2012 World Junior Hockey Championships, and chair of the Mayor's Task Force for a new downtown arena in Edmonton. In addition, he has been involved in the organization of the World and Pan Am Triathlon Championships, ITF Canadian Championships, the Heritage Classics, and numerous other supporting and community events. Lyle is truly a champion, though, for nonprofit organizations and charities. Now, together, Matt and Lyle are committed to making a difference in the lives of countless Canadians by supporting various charitable organizations through the QuikCard Ride for Change powered by Gruppo. And now in today's interview, we're going to dive into this incredible story behind this initiative and explore the profound impact that it has had on the communities across the nation. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Matt Devine and Lyle Best. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Whew. I wanted to put together this great intro for you guys because I'm so honored to have the opportunity to interview you and share this initiative that you guys are on.
Well, after that announcement or that introduction, I feel overwhelmed, but knowing that I'm sitting beside this guy, I feel even more overwhelmed, to be honest. I'm just cycling after I hear his intro. I feel quite small. So it's pretty amazing to be sitting here with you and this gentleman beside me.
I'm just the third most famous guy from Brantford.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. I'd love to get into some of these questions I have for you guys. Would you mind, both of you, maybe take turns and share your philosophy on health and fitness and the message that you hope to spread to the community through the QuikCard Ride for Change?
You kick it off.
Yeah, I think I've always been passionate about sports, community involvement. I've gone through some health scares myself. Had cancer a couple of times and quadruple bypass and things like that. So I'm pretty conscious of the other side of the health world. But I think when you have a healthy community, you have healthy business environment. And I've always, pretty much everything I've ever done with QuikCard has that component to it, that it gives back to the community, that makes people, not just think we're writing a check and putting our name on something. Like when I first met Matt, I'm not sure he knew that, what he was getting into with me, but I never go in the shallow end. I dive in deep end all the time. So, and that's what attracted me to Matt. He has a very similar philosophy about why we do what we do.
Yeah, and for me, I'm coming from a place of being overweight, a heavy drinker, smoker, and you couple that with the aging process, and you find yourself running into some issues around your mental health as well. So, key to my philosophy is not only changing that physical self, but using that process to improve your mental state as well. And to fuel both of those, you need to find something that gives you purpose. For me, it's helping kids, it's helping charities, and I think the connection I made with Lyle was just because, when I sat down with Lyle, he's fairly well known in the Edmonton, Alberta community for what he's done and what he's doing today. But what I also believe in is leaders that back their words with action. So that's who Lyle is to me, and I'm trying to spread that message as we go across Canada. I'm trying to inspire people. I'm trying to show what good leadership looks like, and I'm trying to help kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think the concept of 13,000 kilometers on a bike it's a bicycle, by the way. It's not. I'm a Harley rider, so on a bicycle, it's phenomenal. But what also attracted me to it was Matt's personal story, and I think we live in a time where men in general are reticent to talk about mental health issues, and he's not. And so if I can give him a bigger platform to share that with Canada, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys planning on any events in any of the different areas that you're traveling through? Do you know?
Yeah, we're really excited to talk about what's going to happen here because it sounds like a guy riding across Canada trying to raise dollars, trying to raise awareness. But in actual fact, it's so much more than that. We are going to be going across Canada. We're going to be featuring Canada as one of the main characters in this endurance drama that's going to play out. And we're going to be seeing parts of Canada from one side of the coast to the other side, all the way up to the north. And you're going to see things like, the Atlantic Ocean and the Maritimes. You're going to see our oldest city, Quebec. We're going to see the largest city, Toronto. We're going to roll through the plains, the famous plains of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. We're going to see the famous Canadian Rockies all the way to the other side, of course, Victoria, Vancouver, and then up to the famous northern, provinces and territories of Canada. But what's really exciting about this is we're not only going to be showing this in the background, but we're going to have moments along the way. Lyle will talk a little bit more about what he's going to be doing. But we're going to be stopping and we're going to be, taking all this in and sharing parts of Canada with the world that maybe most people wouldn't see. So we're pretty excited to be doing that. Maybe Lyle, you could talk a little bit about what we're calling Lyle's Bests. It's and I'll just give a little background. When I first met Lyle, he would say, well, when you're cycling through here, you got to try this. And when you're going through that part of the country, you really need to visit this place. And I just thought, every time I sat down with Lyle, he's always got this amazing story to tell or some part of some knowledge that he drops on us. I'm like, wow, why aren't we sharing this with the people as we go? So, this is what we're going to try to do.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I've been to, I think, almost every square inch of Canada numerous times. I have friends in every province. One of my roles is honorary lieutenant colonel in the Canadian Army, which got me to 41 different bases across the nation. And also I did a lot of work with Canadian dentists and visited their conventions in their province at least twice a year, every year for 25 years. So I've been telling Matt, when you, for example, if you're in Charlottetown, you got to go down to Water Street to the best lobster in Atlantic Canada, in my opinion. Go down to St. Andrews by the Sea in New Brunswick, and at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you can ride your bike across the Bay of Fundy to an island, which is really cool. But things like that, and we're going to do those moments, and I'm just sketching out for Matt the places that I would go. But it's an amazing country, and people haven't seen it. This might be a little window into that, but like I say, I've been so fortunate. I've been in every single province numerous times, and I love them all. They all have something special. We're talking to the videographers about the shots that they should be thinking about taking in advance. So, you get into Halifax, the Blue Nose might be moored down at the harbor, things like that. And I think it's going to be a very educational situation where, again, not only the mental health aspect, the physicality that's just insane, but yeah, a little Canadian, a little travel log.
Yeah, and Lyle's also going to try to visit us out on the course. We have a couple of spots we're working with right now, but we're going to make this more than just an endurance event. We're going to make this something amazing that's going to, what I think it's going to tell an amazing story that goes beyond just the struggle we're going to have, the physical side and the mental side. It's going to be, I talk to people, I say it's going to be the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll talk a little bit more about how we're going to share this as we go, but we promise to show everything. There will not be any polished kind of approach to this. Those days when I'm crying and I'm swearing and I'm throwing my bike across the highway, people are going to see that. But they're also going to see these really special moments that Lyle mentioned when we're working with the kids, visiting parts of Canada that are very special. And we have some really great guest stars joining the ride as we cross Canada that are going to make this a really fun thing. So we really hope people will follow along.
Yeah, as the momentum is building and people are understanding what's going to happen, there are groups that are meeting Matt. They're sending messages now. Like, when you come to New Brunswick, we're going to meet you. When you come to Ontario, we're going to meet you. So I think that's going to be another really exciting part. And then it'll culminate when coming into Edmonton. He's going to be joined by the only guy who'd ever wear a yellow vest, jacket, whatever they call it, in Tour de France, Alex Steeda.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be an amazing event.
So, Lyle, for you, it sounds like you're really interested in this whole adventure, a lot on the sports aspect. But can you explain a little bit more why you care so much about like the philanthropic side?
Yeah, I grew up in a funeral home in Brantford, Ontario, and I think subconsciously I picked up on the community and what it means for the community to get behind people when they're down. I know my dad and mom were very community oriented, and I think they didn't tell me I have to be that way. You just picked up on it by living it. I've been very fortunate. When I moved to Edmonton in 1979, I lived in subsidized housing for the city of Edmonton, and when you're touched by people's generosity, there's only two ways to go with it. You take it for granted, or you say I'm gonna give it back double, and so that's really how my philosophy started. I think, like I say, by subliminal in Brantford. Also, my dad had the contract for the funeral home for the Six Nations Reserve. And at that time, and I know I look old, but I'm not that old, but the natives weren't allowed in the funeral home. And so my dad would have to go in to get the body, embalm it, bring it back out to the reservation. And they were buried in rough boxes, and the rough boxes, the boxes the caskets were shipped in. And I remember being very young, but thinking that this is really bad. And So I think early on in my life, I was touched with those kind of elements. And then as I got into business and got to do, I got in the insurance business, was taking death claim checks to, widows and seeing the impact that would make. And then starting my own business, seeing that I could make a difference within the community by sponsoring events but also getting involved, not just writing the check and putting the name on it. I've been very fortunate with Junior Achievement. I got to meet like 4 U.S. presidents, Margaret Thatcher, Shimon Peres, people like that, and they all shared the same kind of a superhuman personality in terms of caring about the public, caring about the citizens, and again, that kind of rubbed off on me as well. So it's always been like it's second nature to me. So when Matt pitched this to me, I immediately went to, well, how can we make this better? What can we do about this? What can we do about that? So, and I think I scared him a little bit because sometimes I do get a little ambitious on these things. But at the end of the day, like I said before, a healthy community gives you a healthy business environment. And, you got to give back. You can't just be a taker. And I know personally, I sleep well at night knowing that I've given back.
Yeah,
So-
I think. Oh, I was just going to say, I just want to be really clear. This event wouldn't be happening without Lyle. I can tell you that right now. It wouldn't be happening without Lyle. And I've sat in front of a lot of leaders that say they're going to do something and say they want to be involved. And I cannot stress how inspirational it is to see a leader actually follow words with action. When words and actions align, to me, it's an amazing quality. So talk about what inspires me. It's guys like Lyle.
I love that. And I love that you guys the goal of this is community. Like the amount of times I've heard both of you say the word community is just amazing. And so where can the community that's watching this right now, where can they actually go to help support you, to help support You Can Ride Too? And then even talk a little bit about the charity. We haven't touched much about who is You Can Ride Too and what they're trying to do.
Sure. So the biggest thing people can do right now, obviously, is donate, and the easiest way of doing that is through the rideforchange.ca webpage. On that webpage, they'll find out about my story, about the charity. They'll see video content that brings people into this experience. But that's probably the easiest place to go right now is rideforchange.ca. If they want to see more frequent updates, more behind the scenes type of content, follow me on Devine Transformation on Instagram. There'll be a lot of fun content put up there as we head towards the start line. And as far as support goes, there's two types of support. There's the donations that we're asking for, and obviously that's number one. But I just want people to know how much their support when they follow and they comment and they engage with me and the team through our social media channels, it means the world to us because, we're doing this and many hours are spent. We're either training, we're planning. Nicole, my wife, she's at home right now booking hotel rooms across Canada for 109 days. The amount of effort we're putting into this is substantial. The amount of effort leaders like Lyle are putting into it, it's substantial. So that support, those kind words, just to let us know you're out there following us, means so much.
And I think everybody remembers their first bike. I certainly do. My grandparents bought me a red CCM bike, taught me how to ride it in the Grandin Toy parking lot in Don Mills, Ontario. And these kids are getting their first bikes when they never thought they'd ever get a bike. And these are all adapted. I've seen the looks on their faces when they get them. It just melts. It melts you.
Yeah, and I think that what Lyle just said sums up the charity. These children have either physical or mental barriers that are stopping them from getting on what we would call a standard bike to experience what every child should experience, the freedom and joy of riding a bike for the first time, being with their friends in that community. These children don't get to experience that. So this charity actually takes these children and customizes these bikes around these kids. So now they're riding bikes, which transforms their lives. But what most people don't understand is now that mother and that father can take that child out and experience normality in a very, very challenging life. Because when you have children like this, these parents are superhuman. I mean, they're the real heroes here, right? They're caring for these kids 24 hours a day, and this just gives them that little piece of normality. But let's make no mistake, this will actually give these kids an enhanced life going forward, and we should give everybody that chance, right? So that's what You Can Ride Too does. All local volunteers, volunteering their time, very lean, no waste. They just do amazing things.
Yeah, and that's another thing that attracted me is so many charities, the admin costs are through the roof. And so you're giving them $100 and you think, wow, I'll make a difference. And you find out later that 96 of it went to running the charity. This one is lean and mean. And again, these kids are special. I saw one nonverbal, and the joy on that kid's face when he got the bike, that was pretty verbal in another way.
It can make you cry. It really does. I'll go into the center sometimes after 4 or 5 hours of training, and I'm a little worried that I don't have the energy that I need. As soon as I get into the center where this process happens, one of two things happens. I either start to cry a little bit because I see this, and it's a happy cry, or I just get lifted. My energy level goes through the roof, and it's like, okay, I can go back out on the bike.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just thinking about this right now, but are any of the kids going to get a chance to ride and support you on the trip at all?
Yeah, we have lots of, and to be completely transparent, a lot of this right now is being planned out as we march toward the start line. But absolutely, there will be not only kids riding with us, there'll be reception kind of events where as I ride into a stop, there'll be kids there on their bikes. We'll get a chance to ride with me and the team. At the finish line, we hope to bring all the kids that can make it out from You Can Ride Too to the finish line. And we'll also be visiting facilities like children's hospitals, and actually even where they build these bikes, because I think that's something that's important. These bikes aren't cheap. So getting to see that whole process and meet the company that makes these bikes. So there's lots of events around that as we go across.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, guys, this has been amazing. As the QuikCard Ride for Change continues to grow, can you give us a sneak peek at the future plans and what you guys plan on doing with this initiative?
Well,
Last year he did 7 marathons in 7 days. Now he's doing 13,000 kilometers on a bike. I think a rocket ship might be involved. I'm not sure.
I won't lie. There was an idea floated where I was going to get a group of really bright business folk around me, and I'm not. Even though I've been in the business world for a long time, I'm not the best and brightest. And I actually asked Lyle if he wouldn't mind mentoring and providing me some oversight here, and he agreed, thankfully. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to create a platform that is sustainable. In other words, it won't be something tied to a specific event, to a specific individual and a specific group of sponsors. What we want to do is try to create a self-sustaining platform where people who are like me when 15 years ago, who want to take their own journey and either battle, whether it be a mental condition or a physical condition, but want to undertake their own transformational journey. We want to give them a platform to come to and leverage what we've already put in place. And in return, they need to bring a charity with them. They need to bring their own purpose. And if we can grow this ecosystem, now we're helping individuals and we're helping charities. But what makes it really exciting is as they come to the table, they're bringing their network. And as we get more nodes in the network, we get a greater response from sponsors, to be quite blunt. If we get 100, 200, 300, 10,000 nodes in that network, there's going to be more viewership, more sponsorship, and we can actually start to fund these initiatives and make it very lean. What makes it really exciting, though, is that with guys like Lyle on board, my experience, folks like Lyle, we can talk to these things. We can talk about human transformation. We can talk about mindset. We can talk about leadership. And anything we do that potentially generates revenue will go back into feeding this engine. So, yeah, we're going to build a rocket ship and we're going to fly to the moon. Long story short, we got lots of exciting things coming. And I've asked Lyle to be part of that journey. He's agreed, and I just hope he doesn't get sick and tired of me after this 13,000K. But I'm really excited to work with Lyle, and hopefully he's excited to work with us.
Yeah, the charity will change every year, but the root cause won't, and it's going to be overcoming your own physical problems and mental problems. And we'll tie that in, maybe one year it's going to be, we're going to visit all the, all the Indian reservations across the country, bring some awareness to that. And Matt's right, when when you expand the network, as soon as I agreed to do this, I started to put the touch on my network. So I called the driving force, and they're given a pretty nice deal on the ban. I called Cowan Graphics, Blaine McMillan. He's graphicing, doing all the wrapping of this vehicle. The QuikCard group of companies. We also have a software company, so I had that company build a website, and this is only going to grow. And I think a couple of years from now, people are going to say, how did you create such a giant machine? Well, it's just like-minded people putting their shoulders to the grindstone and get her done.
Yeah, and I think the other exciting thing about this is it represents something even greater than what we just described. It represents people, doing something to create purpose or through purpose, but also to create that lifestyle. I want people to understand that, if they're in that rut and they're challenged every day to get up and do what they're doing. We're not all blessed. We don't all have huge bank accounts. We all have these hurdles that we have to overcome, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can start to shape your life through that transformational journey. It's just small steps. And we want to inspire people. We really want to inspire people. And the more people I talk to, like I just connected with Lyle, but he mentioned a couple of other people, but we're working with folks like Flexion Bike Fit. They're doing all of our bike fits. We had another individual reach out to me yesterday. He's a very successful business person. He said, I had trouble, metabolically. I'm losing my fitness. I'm starting to have some issues. Mentally, I'm challenged. He's donated, he's sponsored, and now he's going to actually ride the last leg. So he's going to undertake a fitness journey through this. So we are going to inspire change, and we're going to create an unstoppable movement.
I love it, and I love the rocket ship idea. And I still think your next journey's got to be like swimming across the Great Lakes or something. So,
well, we want to have other people in the. I don't even want to use the word spotlight because I think that makes this more about ego. But we want other people on the stage, and so if there is a person out there that wants to transform and they feel that they're a strong swimmer, absolutely. Again, as long as they're bringing their network and their blood, sweat, and tears to the table with a charity, we want to help them out. And I just feel very, very excited about it. And I'm a living example of someone who is in a great position with a great company, but I wasn't living my best life. And now I'm finding passion again in doing this stuff. I might not survive this 13,000K, but if I do, I'm going to the moon. So I'm really excited about it. I get to meet exciting people like you. And if I could say one last thing, we're going to tell this story through many different mechanisms. Lyle's best. He's going to be contacting me on the road. He's going to be with us in person. We're going to film that. We're going to see these interactions. We're going to share those moments. I'm going to be talking to you, Chris, several times throughout this ride. And in some cases, we may engage other people into it. That's going to be shared with people. We are going to have a local production company here, Production 71, who have agreed to assist us in capturing content in a meaningful way that is a bit more than just me and my iPhone, if that makes sense. It's going to show the blood, sweat, and tears. We're going to be sharing that 3-4 times a week. So we really want people to follow this. Beyond the donating, this is going to be a very, very, I think, fun and interesting trip.
And going back to that Canadiana aspect, there will be drones. So
You're going to see amazing stuff. Rockies. It's just I'm scared, but I'm excited, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. For everyone watching, listening, check out rideforchange.ca. Follow Matt at Divine Transformation on Instagram. And then is there anywhere else? Where can people connect with you, Lyle?
I know I'm on Instagram. I just don't know how I got there.
DM me and I'll give everyone Lyle's information to follow.
I love it.
He's definitely on LinkedIn. So,
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn
too.
So reach out to Matt, and he can connect you with Lyle. Everyone, please be sure to follow what's going on. Help support this initiative. Like Matt said, just even giving them a like or just giving a little comment saying "keep going, we support you." That goes a long way. And so I would really encourage everyone to just follow and help support this journey in any way that you possibly can.
Yeah, and one last word, Impact Magazine, really well-known fitness magazine here in fitness and health magazine in Canada. They're going to be following us, telling this story through a different medium. I urge everybody to subscribe to Impact. They're an amazing team, and I think they're going to tell an amazing story as well. So there's one more dimension to view this through.
Awesome. Before we go, is there anything else you want to tell the audience before we leave?
You should have the last word, Lyle.
I've been involved in so many cool things in my life, and this is one of the coolest. I think Canada is going to fall in love with this guy, and I think we're making history here, and like Matt says, it's going to inspire people. You just think back to Terry Fox or Steve Fogno, guys like that who did what they did, and the legacy that it's left behind. This could well be the start of something like that.
I love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to help sharing this story and doing more interviews with you along the way. So I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for giving us the attention.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for who tuned in, and be sure to follow these guys.